Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and much appreciated you guys swinging by the channel and spending some of your time with me. And guys, today I want to talk a little bit about everybody is patiently or impatiently waiting on Bassmaster's decision on what they're going to do with forward-facing sonar Livescope for the 2026 season. If you guys have been watching my channel here and a bunch of other YouTubers out there, there's a lot of speculation and rumor that Bassmaster is going to implement some type of limitations on the most destructive technology that our sport has ever seen moving forward in 2026. But the rumors are rampant as far as what's going to be taking place here and what's going to go on. So today I want to talk about some of the possibilities that I'm hearing floating around out there and some of the ramifications if those implementations go into place. So we're going to get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, quick reminder, I just want to let you know, I don't know if you all know it, Tackle Warehouse, in addition to having every type of tackle, rod and reels you guys could need, they have about anything else you could want in addition to fishing. They got trolling motors, they got electronics, they got raincoats, they got winter wear, they got everything for the outdoors. I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. And if you're needing anything for your fishing needs or, even outdoor needs in general, if you guys use that link, it's a good way to help the channel. Much appreciated there. And also, guys, quick invitation, if you haven't had a chance to hit that subscribe button to here Intuitive Angling, invitation to do that. It's a good free way to support the channel, and much appreciated for everybody that's taking time to subscribe to the channel there. Okay, guys, if you've seen much of the channel here or been following it, and if you're not, let me sort of bring you up to speed here. Under the intense pressure of the Bassmaster viewership and membership and industry and everybody in general, they've been wanting Bassmaster to ban forward-facing sonar. And obviously we know that ban is not going to come because of the massive sponsorships that the organization gets from the electronic companies. But nevertheless, there's been such an outrage from the public, and the fact that Bassmaster's bleeding memberships, everybody's, not renewing their memberships or canceling their memberships because of Bassmaster's position on forward-facing sonar. The rumor is not, and it seems to be more than a rumor, it's sort of like the vibe I'm getting from everybody I know, Bassmaster Elite Series pros that have been, privy to this, that there's going to be some changes made. Now, we've heard a lot of different stuff. We've heard wide-ranging things, but the two things that I have heard that keep coming up over and over and over again is half the tournaments are going to be, they're going to allow, spotlighting, and half the tournaments not. And then another rumor that's sort of picking up speed is they're going to allow spotlighting for bass in 70% of the tournaments and 30% of the tournaments that they're not. Now, obviously, both of these are nothing more than just token half measures. They're not going to make much of a difference, at all. And here's the thing that I sort of have a hard time with. Obviously, if this wasn't a problem and it wasn't an issue and spotlighting for bass was just, quote, another tool, you hear that bullshit all the time out there. If that was the deal, then why even address it? Why even try to come to a middle ground on it? Why not just, keep it, 100% all the time, balls to the wall? So obviously, there is an awareness going on at the corporate level that something has got to be done. And it's walking a tightrope between doing the right thing and addressing the outrage of your constituency and your base versus, the money that's being, subsidized through the electronic companies. Now, since there's no transparency with the Bassmaster and most tournament organizations out there, we don't know the extent of those relationships. That's their business. I mean, that's their right to have their privacy with that. But at the same time, tournament organizations are a little bit different than just some business, because we rely, as a angling community, we rely on the major tournament organizations to sort of set the bar and guide the industry a little bit and do the right thing. Do the right thing for the future of the sport, do the right thing for the anglers, do the right thing for the environment, do the right thing for conservation practices. And what we have seen over the last 5 years, over and over and over again, is that most tournament organizations are not in good hands. They're in hands of people that are sort of unqualified, that have not fished professionally. They don't really know what's going on. They've made a lot of boneheaded decisions that they've instituted certain rules, and they had to come back and change them because of outrage, and just, we've seen this over and over again. But here's the thing that we want to talk about when you talk about in terms of this particular rule. Don't ever estimate the impact that this decision that Bassmaster is going to make on moving the sport forward and the direction of the sport. Because we've seen a lot of organizations do the right thing. We've seen smaller tournament organizations and big bass tournaments and club tournaments completely ban forward-facing sonar. We've seen the NPFL ban forward-facing sonar, and we've also seen the popularity, the tremendous rise in popularity and the tremendous support that the NPFL has received as a result of them doing the right thing and banning the cheater box. Well, I'm not supposed to call it the cheater box anymore. Let me rephrase that, the spotlighting machine, because apparently I'm outraging some sensitive types when I call it the cheater box. So anyway, they've done the right thing. MLF, they've made some token moves as far as using it in part of their periods, and they can't use it in other periods, but that doesn't make any difference. It's still being used. And the technology is so destructive that they don't have to have it all day long. All they need it is for a period or a couple hours a day, and they've caught their bag. That's the problem that you have with that. So here's the thing about it. In a perfect world, here is the perfect scenario that would happen. Bassmaster would make a press release or make an announcement on their website. And here's what needs to be done. They should say, in light of everything that's going on, in light of the attitudes of our constituency and our base and our membership, and in light of doing the right thing for the future sustainability of sport, we have decided to ban forward-facing sonar from all Bassmaster tournaments moving forward. Guys, does Bassmaster realize, just think about this, if they did that and they came out with this, you would have just a small percentage of whiners out there that don't know how to catch bass without forward-facing sonar and their umbilical cord tied to it that would throw a freaking hissy fit. But the majority, 90%, let me rephrase it, 85% of the anglers out there, of the fans, of everybody out there, they would jump with joy, give a standing ovation, and the stock and the perception and the attitude and the energy within Bassmaster would do a complete 180. Their stock would go through the roof, memberships would go up, everything, their ability to court other sponsors would go up. The relationship they have with the endemic tackle companies would go up, as it would benefit a ton of major companies, because forward-facing sonar has devastated tackle sales. Everything would go up, and then as a result of Bassmaster taking that lead, you would start seeing other tournament organizations, smaller ones, they would say, Bassmaster banned forward-facing sonar, maybe we should look at doing the same thing, and eventually that would go away. But unfortunately, Bassmaster's in terrible hands right now, management-wise. They're not going to do the right thing. They're going to let money be the deciding factor completely on that. So, in my opinion, we're going to see one of those two things. We're going to see 70% of the tournaments allowed to use the most destructive technology in history of the sport, 30% of the tournaments not, or a 50-50 split. I don't look for it to be a 50-50 split. I think that is a little too much for them, and I think that the electronic companies would probably throw a fit if they just had half of their tournaments with that technology and half of it without of it. But we'll see. I mean, like I said, this is we're standing on a precipice right now. It's like there are periods in everybody's life, and there's periods in businesses' lives where there's pinnacle decisions that are to be made that affect the future of those companies or the direction that your life takes. And this is one of those big ones. If they do the right thing, they can look for their business and their business model to thrive moving forward into the future, and put all this behind us, all this destructiveness that we've seen in the industry the past 2 or 3 years behind us. Or they can continue on the road they're on, which is destruction of our sport. We don't know how long it's going to take, but it is coming. Not only the destruction of the sport, but the tremendous harm that it's creating within the endemic business part of the industry, within the tackle companies, everything with that. So we'll see how it goes. But Anyway, I just want to let you know that that's sort of what I've been hearing out there, and let me know what you guys think about it, and we'll check in later.